But I have to ask you this because I was looking through your resume. Your first international goal, do I have this right, for the Netherlands, was against the United States. Do you remember that?
Yeah, there was, I think, the year, unfortunately, we didn't qualify for the World Cup. So I think we went to the United States to play in Boston, the US, as a friendly match as for their preparation. And I scored my first goal for my country. That's right.
What was that feeling like?
No, I mean, already was nice because I think we played in the Patriots Stadium. I mean, I think there was 25,000 fans. I think normally 80,000 people go in, so it was really nice. No, I mean, it was really nice. Of course, we were a couple of days in Boston. We played that match. We didn't have that much pressure because for us it was a friendly game. I think for the US it was like a preparation for the World Cup. So it's always nice. I mean, representing the country is always the best there is.
That U.S. team was one of the best that we've ever had. They made it to the quarterfinals of that 2002 World Cup. What do you remember about that U.S. team?
Not much really. I mean, it was a long time ago. Yeah, no, I remember. I think we won 2-0, and I scored my first goal. And we had a couple of wonderful days in Boston with also some sightseeing. We went to a Red Sox game, so we did more than just playing football there.
So you're going to be spending a lot of time in the United States this summer with the Bayern Munich World 11. I know the trip is mostly focused around the TST 7-on-7 tournament, which is a lot of fun. But tell me a little bit first about what the Bayern Munich World 11 is and kind of where you're getting these players from.
Yes, it's called the Bayern World Squad. I mean, this is going to be season number 4, where 23 players from all over the world are selected to be part of this team. Normally, you get the chance through agents or clubs, and now they have to apply by uploading a video on the Bayern website. And then we picked 23 because of out of the videos. I mean, the first 2 years, Klaus Augenthaler, former world champion, was the coach. Bayern asked me last year to be the coach. I did it last year, where we went to Buenos Aires for 2 weeks. Now this year we go to the United States, where we will participate, of course, in the tournament. We will also play Inter Miami and DC United in 11 against 11. I think last year we had 6,000 people applying. This year, almost 10,000.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, I haven't seen all videos. We have a lot of other people do that.
I was going to say, did you watch all 10,000 videos?
No, because at the end, this year the application started a little bit earlier because we go to the United States, and you know better than I, with visa it takes a little bit longer than when you go to another country. So because in March we agreed that I will do it another year, so they already started application. I saw, I think, 2025 from the last ones where we should pick, because my team already did the pre-selections for every position. We had a couple. I mean, from last year's team, we have 4. So there were 19 new players compared to last season. And I mean, it's a wonderful project. I mean, we have this year 22 players from 15 different countries. Some speak English, some speak Spanish. Then we have a couple from Asia. I hope they understand us a little bit. But that's a great challenge as a coach if you can make a team out of these 22 players within 4 weeks. Because I mean, the project takes 4 weeks, and always on the last day, that's the highlight of these 4 weeks, is the game against Bayern under 19.
I was reading kind of some of the players that have come through the program, and it sounds like there's a lot of talent and a lot of success. Like, a lot of these guys have found professional contracts out of this, haven't they?
If I talk about last year's team, I think 8 players from last year's team signed a contract within their own country. We had the one striker from Nigeria, Victor Orakpo. He scored 5 goals in 6 games. Nizza from France, they saw him, and because he scored against River Plate and then he scored against Hamburg twice. They asked him to get on to come for trial, and they signed him. So I mean, unfortunately, he didn't make it to come play for us. But I mean, through this project, he got the chance to play in another club in Europe, and that's also a big success. I mean, the first year, I think there was a Colombian player, but Bayern signed Jose Mulato, and then they sent him on loan to FC Dallas. From the second year, there was a Nigerian player. He's now on loan. I mean, Bayern signed him as well. He's now on loan in Austria. And from last year's team, unfortunately, we didn't sign one, but we had a player who's a goalkeeper from Czech Republic. He signed a contract with Victoria Pilsen, and he already played with Indian results. He played already a Conference League. So I think it's a great platform for players who normally wouldn't have the chance to be able to play in these kinds of projects and show themselves. I mean, all games are on live stream, especially the games in Germany. There's scouts. I mean, what else do you want? And also being part of this great club for 4 weeks is already something really special.
So you've got, as you mentioned, some 11-a-side games coming up for your American tour, but the focus is going to be the 7-on-7 tournament, the TST, and I'm sure you've heard about it. There's $1 million prize. So how competitive is this going to be for your guys? How seriously are you going to take it? And what are your expectations in North Carolina?
No, of course it's nice. It's gonna be challenging because we're gonna play there probably with the youngest team of all competitors. I mean, that's why we start a little bit earlier. We already start with 3 days training in Germany, so we can see a little bit who we decide to let play in the tournament. And because I mean, we have a 15-year-old in the squad, so we will not let him play in the tournament. I mean, because playing against adults, I think the chance of getting injured is too big. And I mean, the health of a player is always more important than playing this tournament. But I mean, we have 23 players. I already know some players from last year. They will be in the tournament for sure. Probably maybe we will have a surprise player, but I will tell you about that later on. Probably we have one former player from Bayern who will participate.
Ooh, well. Give me a hint. What position are we thinking?
I'm not saying anything. He will be he will be my assistant, one of my 2 assistant coaches, and so we will have him on the list to play, and we will decide probably a couple of days if we will let them play, especially to help and guide the young players in a tournament like this.
When you think about a tournament like this and kind of representing the Bayern Munich brand in America, what do you want to see from your team in this?
First of all, that they enjoy themselves. I mean, it's different than playing 11 against 11. I mean, it's just 7 against 7 with high intensity. I mean, I already saw Aguero will be there, Balotelli, Nani, and we have players who have only seen these ones on television, so they will, how do you say, starstruck already a little bit, I think. So that's why it's good that we will be there a couple of days earlier, so we can try to relax them a little bit and focus on the games. And at the end, I always say, if they give everything and at the end we don't win, okay, that's it. I mean, it's a big challenge with a young team, but in football, anything can happen.
I know the team has players from all over the world. Do you have any Mexicans, any Americans, any Canadians, anybody from this part of the world? Those are the countries that we really focus on here on this show.
Yeah, we have picked 1 player from Canada. We have 3 from the US, 2 Mexican players, 1 from Brazil, and 1 from Argentina. If you speak about that part now, we have players from Australia, South Africa, Korea, Japan. So, like I said, 22 players from 15 different countries. But and like I said, who will play the tournament, we will see. Because I mean, I just know 4 from last year, and the rest I just seen them through video. So we have to see them how they do in training.
Since we're mentioning players from this part of the world, obviously a Canadian with Bayern Munich right now, Alphonso Davies, a player that we follow a lot because he started here in Major League Soccer with Vancouver Whitecaps. You're obviously an attacker back in your day, so you might have a unique perspective on kind of what his challenge is, what he is as a defender. What do you think of him as a player?
Alphonso, I think he developed really well. I mean, he came to Bayern, I think, more as a left winger. Because of injuries, they tried him as a left fullback, and he did so well that he played there. I mean, this year, I think he's as good as he was the years before. But I mean, that's normal as well. In that age, I think he's still 22, 24. That's quite normal. But I mean, his pace is incredible. If you see, I think he's the fastest player in the Bundesliga. He scored an amazing goal the other day against Real Madrid. Unfortunately, it didn't help to get to the final, but Fonsi is a great talent. And then you see, I mean, before he came to Bayern in Europe, nobody knew him. I think I know another example, Owen Hargreaves. He was born in Canada. I mean, he played for England. I played with Jonathan de Guzman. I think his brother Julian, he played for Canada, and Jonathan played with me in the national team. So over the years, there was a lot of talented players in Canada. And of course, I think for Canadian football, it really helps to see players like Davies. I think the other one, David, the striker. So going to Europe, it always helps to develop, because I think everybody, I think, knows the Champions League is the best competition in the world, club competition in the world. So it's always good to see players from many, many countries.
Roy, you are a former Bayern player, but as I mentioned at the beginning of the interview, you've been a legend at a few clubs. One of them, Deportivo La Coruña, just got promoted. I wonder what it was like for you to see that happen after a club that has struggled so much over the last few years.
Of course, seeing them playing in third division, that hurts. I mean, I had a lot of success in 4 years, winning the league, winning the cup, twice the Super Cup, and then seeing them play the third division, that hurts. I mean, I think that's a lot of things went wrong if you play in third division. Of course, everybody knows Deportivo is not the biggest club in Spain, but playing in third division, that could never happen. I mean, of course, sometimes maybe you can go to second division and then promote again to the Primera División, but seeing them playing in second division next year, that already makes me happy, and hopefully within 2-3 years they will be back in the Primera División where I think they belong.
Super Depor, on the way up, back to where you had them in the early 2000s. Another one of your former clubs, Feyenoord. We cover Mexican soccer a lot here. Santiago Gimenez is, of course, at Feyenoord. You're a striker. What do you think of him as a player?
No, at the beginning of the season, he was fantastic until the winter break. I mean, I was in Mexico a couple of months ago with your colleagues at ESPN Mexico. I think from 50 minutes, 45, we're talking about the Mexican players. After the winter break, he was struggling really. He didn't score that much goals. I mean, at the last games, he started scoring again. And we'll see what he's going to do in the summer. I mean, I think, in my opinion, it wouldn't be bad for him to stay another year at Feyenoord, because you will play another year Champions League. Was really good to show your qualities. He's still a young player. What I think, my opinion, it didn't help that the Mexican national coach was already saying that he had to leave Feyenoord. I mean, that you put a lot of pressure on the player, because then, of course, you're press as well. The whole press is asking, what do you think about the comments of the national coach? I think if he decides to leave, that's his decision. But I think staying one more year at Feyenoord wouldn't be a bad choice as well. Because, like I said, you play another year of Champions League. As a young player, you can get much better and better. Because I think he's already a great player with a lot of potential to become a much better striker than he already is.